Do you know how many hours a day your family stares at a screen? Do you know what happens to your decision-making ability after 6 hours of algorithmically curated content designed to keep you emotionally activated? Do you know that the psychological state most Americans are living in right now, anxious, reactive, tribalized, unable to focus, is the exact mental state that gets people killed in a real survival situation? Because here's what nobody is calling this, what it actually is. I spent time researching this after noticing something about my own habits that genuinely concerned me. It's a psychological infection, and it spreads through every screen in your house. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how digital overconsumption is degrading your survival capability right now, before any disaster even hits, and the specific daily protocols that rebuild the mental clarity you need when everything goes wrong. Because if your mind is already compromised before the crisis arrives, no amount of gear, food, or water will save you. Here's what nobody tells you about the modern American information environment. It was not designed to inform you. It was designed to addict you. The engineers who built the platforms your family uses every day, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, cable news, openly documented in internal research that emotional content, specifically outrage and fear, generates the highest engagement. More clicks, more time on platform, more ad revenue, which means every time you open your phone, an algorithm is selecting content specifically engineered to trigger your stress response, not occasionally, every single time. And here's the part that will surprise you. Chronic stress response activation, sustained over months and years, physically changes how your brain processes information. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational decision-making, impulse control, and long-term planning, becomes less active. Your amygdala, the fear and reaction center, becomes dominant. In survival terms, you become worse at exactly the skills that keep you alive. Most people get this completely wrong and think media consumption is a comfort issue, something that affects your mood but not your actual capability. It isn't. After COVID lockdowns in 2020, researchers documented measurable increases in anxiety disorders, depression, and decision fatigue across American adults who reported high social media use. Decision fatigue is exactly what it sounds like. The more decisions your brain processes, even passive ones like scrolling, the worse your subsequent decision quality becomes. This is where it gets deadly. In a real emergency, a house fire, a tornado warning, a medical crisis, a grid-down situation, you need your decision-making to be fast, clear, and sequential. You need to be able to prioritize, suppress panic, and execute a plan under pressure. A brain that has spent years being chronically activated by algorithmic fear content does not do this well. It freezes. It catastrophizes. It makes emotional decisions that feel right and are statistically wrong. The families that froze during Hurricane Katrina's evacuation window weren't all unprepared in the material sense. Many had supplies, many had cars. What they didn't have was the mental clarity to act decisively when the window was open. They waited, they second-guessed, and then the window closed. So what does the psychological infection actually look like in your household? It looks like your kids being unable to sit with discomfort for more than 3 minutes without reaching for a device. It looks like you checking your phone within 5 minutes of waking up, flooding your nervous system with information before your brain has even fully come online for the day. It looks like your family having dinner while everyone watches something. Nobody sitting with silence, nobody practicing the mental stillness that extended crisis situations demand. And here's the part that will surprise you. Screen addiction and substance addiction activate the same neurological reward pathways. Dopamine, the hit you get from a notification, a like, a shocking headline. It's the same mechanism as a drug hit, just smaller and faster, which means breaking the pattern feels like withdrawal. Irritability, anxiety, inability to focus. Most Americans who try a screen-free weekend report feeling genuinely worse for the first 24 to 48 hours. That's not weakness. That's your brain recalibrating from a dependency. This is the part that almost nobody in the survival community is talking about, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. The thing survival channels never mention is that mental resilience is a trainable physical skill, not a personality trait. Your brain is neuroplastic. It changes based on what you repeatedly do with it. And there are specific daily practices that rebuild the prefrontal cortex function that screen overconsumption degrades. First, a no-screen first hour. Every morning, your first 60 minutes stay offline. No phone, no news, no social media. Use that time for something that requires sustained attention, reading a physical book, making coffee slowly, talking to your family, going outside. This single practice, done consistently for 30 days, measurably improves focus, reduces baseline anxiety, and strengthens your capacity for deliberate decision-making. A $12 analog alarm clock from Walmart removes the excuse of needing your phone to wake up. Second, deliberate boredom. Sit somewhere for 10 minutes with no device and no input. Just sit. This feels unbearable to most Americans at first, which is exactly the point. Boredom is your brain's processing mode. It's when your mind consolidates information, solves problems, and recovers from stimulation overload. Emergency situations require extended periods of waiting, watching, and patient decision-making. If you can't sit still for 10 minutes now, you cannot do it for 10 hours when your power's out and you're waiting for conditions to change. Third, news blackouts. Pick 2 specific times per day, 30 minutes each, when you check news and information. Outside those windows, you don't. This is not ignorance. This is information hygiene. The news cycle is designed to make everything feel urgent all the time. Real survival threats develop over hours and days, not minutes. You will not miss anything critical with a structured news schedule. You will gain significant mental bandwidth. Everything I just told you, that's only half the story. The part most survival channels never cover. That's coming next. And trust me, you need to hear it. But today, just today, try the no-screen first hour. Set that $12 alarm clock, put your phone in another room overnight, and see what your mind feels like at 8 a.m. when it hasn't been hijacked yet. It will feel different than you expect. So tell me, what's the first thing you reach for every morning when you wake up? Your phone or something else? Drop your honest answer in the comments, because that one habit might be the most important survival variable in your household right now.